Welcome to Crimepedia. I am your host, Morgan. And with me, if there was a princess of Devon, she surely would be that. It's Cherry.
I thought you were going to say Princess of Darkness then. I would say, I quite like the sound of that, Princess of Darkness.
The Princess of Darkness.
Yeah,
No,
it sounds,
you're not dark at all. Come on.
No, I'm not. But I like the sound of that. I like
How are
it.
you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, been better.
Oh, I
But
know. You're a bit sore, aren't you?
I am so sore.
You've been adulting far too much this week.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'll teach you for being a grown-up.
I know. Stop working in my yard. I keep thinking I can do all the stuff that I would be able to in my younger years, and then I try and I do it, and then it's like my body doesn't even like wait. Because normally, if you have like a really hard workout, the next day you wake up and you might feel it.
Yeah.
My body's like an hour later. It's like,
you're not old. Doing? You're like only just 40. It's not bad, is it? Come on, you're good.
But honestly, after I was done, I was like relaxing. Like all of a sudden, like my arms have been in like pain ever since. It's just like I don't know what I did. It's insane.
We have a little joke that you love your lawn, don't we? And this is what you were doing, lawn work. So
I was doing lawn work.
It does make me laugh because you love your lawn a lot. You and your grass is brilliant. I love it. So funny.
So nothing new going on with you then?
No, not really. I've no, not really. It's been getting a bit crazy on the Facebook page, so I've been sort of trying to answer as many people as I can, and same for Instagram. It's been really nice. Lots of people sort of contacting us. So I'm trying to look through all the suggestions that people have been sending, and I've got a couple of really good ones that I'm trying to look up at the moment. I'm just waiting for some police forces to get back to me, and the English police forces are rubbish. They take forever to come back to you. And so
that's strange.
Do you know how it's frustrating? Because I think they issue this thing saying that they want information and that they want help with these cases, and then when you try and get the information to help them to spread the word about these cases that they've gone cold, nobody seems to want to come forward and give you anything. So it's quite frustrating to get to try and squeeze the information out of people, to be honest. So yeah, it's a strange one, but over there, everyone seems to be super helpful, and they want help with stuff. They send you as much info as they can give you. The Ben Bilemi one, the police were so amazing with that. They sent so much stuff, and it's like that helps you to promote, the case that they're trying to get answers on, and then people tend to look at it a lot more. So yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
It really is. But for now, let's get into this week's case.
Yeah, this week's case I'm really interested in this week's case.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
20-year-old Heather Elvis was just beginning her adult life in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She was working 2 jobs and had aspirations to one day become a cosmetologist. But all of her dreams and aspirations would soon come to a halt when a 38-year-old man walked into her life. This is A Deadly Affair. All right, Cherry. So Heather Elvis is a 20-year-old native of Horry County, South Carolina.
Yeah.
When this story starts in June of 2013, Heather is working actually 2 jobs at the time. So she's working at the Tilted Kilt in Myrtle Beach, and then the House of Blues in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She was really soon to be getting her life in order at 20 years old. You're young.
Yeah. 2 jobs.
You're not really at that point, you're really not financially independent quite yet, but she's working 2 jobs. She's studying cosmetology. So she wants to get into that. So It seems like she's doing pretty well. Now, I don't know if you know what it is. Do you know what the tilted kilt is?
It sounds like a is it like a bar or something? I was gonna ask you
It
what that is.
is
Is it
okay.
like a bar?
It is a bar.
Okay.
So it's a Celtic themed bar. So they're like a franchise. They have them all over the place.
Right. Okay.
I think they have one here, or at least I know they used to have one here. I never went to it, but it was one of these places along. I would say along the like the Hooters type place
Oh,
where the
okay.
servers
Being
would wear
kilts. Yeah.
skimpy outfits, so skimpy kilts, like
Okay.
skimpy shirts and everything.
Yeah.
Around this time, so around June 2013, 38-year-old man by the name of Sidney Moore was hired by the Tilted Kilt in order to repair some of their equipment, kitchen
Mhm.
equipment.
Right.
So he would go in, fix their freezers, whatever it might be. And that's where Heather first met Sydney. So there's almost 20 years between these two, 18 years
Yeah.
between these two.
Yeah.
Now, he caught her eye very quickly where she would post on Twitter some things in regards to him, making it known that she might have a thing for him.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're not really that terrible, but like for example, she in July 7th, she posted on her Twitter, "The guy who builds things at my job makes me cream myself." Hashtag wet dreams
Oh,
tonight. So
God.
kind of creepy. And then, like, after that, she posts, "One of these days, I will drag that man into the mop closet and have my way with him."
Is he on Twitter as well, or is this just something she's writing on Twitter knowing full well he's not on there?
Is this something that she's writing on there, knowing that he's not on there?
Oh, right, okay.
But it seems like by this point, they probably have talked, and so they know each other.
Yeah.
Now, this I don't know what I would call this. So this attraction that she has towards him continues, and then by September they end up dating.
Yeah.
Now the problem is Sidney Moore was also married. So he had a wife,
Okay.
and so they basically start to have an affair,
Oh, no.
which is never a good thing.
No.
All right.
With a younger girl as well, she's quite a lot younger. Yeah, so his wife's not gonna be happy about that.
Not at all. He is married. His wife's name is Tammy. She's a little bit older than him,
Mm.
I think early 40s. Now, according to Sydney, this relationship did not last all that long, maybe a few weeks, because by October, Tammy learns that the affair is going on.
Oh, no, busted.
Definitely busted. Okay.
There's gonna be some chopping of some balls going on.
To say the least. Yes.
Oh, dear.
Uh, Here's the thing. So let's kind of rewind a little bit. So both Sydney and Heather, when they started this affair, neither of them really hid it. They didn't hide it that well. Like, so Heather would openly talk about it, talk about him and their relationship.
Oh my
And
god.
then Sydney, like, he would go out with her, and like he would go out with friends and stuff, and they knew that she was the girlfriend, whatever. So
What? God.
yeah, I
That's
know, right?
crazy. Yeah.
There were friends and coworkers that remember Heather discussing the relationship she was having with him,
Mm.
and Sydney would come into the restaurant, come into the Tilted Kilt, even when he wasn't even working, to see her, and he would like bring her like bagels or coffee or whatever.
Mm.
And so at some point, Sydney also discussed with her the possibility of taking her on as his children's nanny.
Oh, Heather.
Yes. So him and his wife were like, we're thinking about possibly moving to Florida, and so he was like, "Hey, why don't you, think about coming with us, and you could be the nanny."
Oh, this man is deluded, surely.
Yeah, because yes. Hey, Tammy, guess what? I found someone at Tilted Kilt,
Yeah.
and she's gonna come move with us to Florida, and she's gonna be the kid's nanny.
And by the way, I've been sleeping with her.
By the way, I've been sleeping with her. Yeah, that always goes well, right?
His wife's going to be happy with that. Not. Oh, that's crazy. Why would he even think that that was a good idea? Why? I mean, because if my husband suggested that to me, I'd be like, oh, hang on, you found a nanny for our kids. I would straight away be a bit suspicious at that because men don't usually worry about that kind of stuff. And then when you see
Mhm.
her and she's 20 years younger, I'd be a bit like, oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
That's really
Absolutely
strange.
no, not
Strange man.
happening.
No.
So that's going on. So, like I said, The affair was really just September, part of October, which I
Okay.
don't know if that's really the case. I think it probably went on longer.
He's gonna play it down, isn't he? Yeah, he's gonna play it
Yeah,
down.
he is. Oh, no, absolutely. Especially with what is gonna happen here in the future, right? So he's like, "Oh,
Right.
no, it was just short-lived,
Yeah.
nothing major." Look, he's a 38-year-old man.
Yeah.
She is 20 years old, just turned 20 years old, right? So, like,
Yeah.
when she first meets him, she was actually 19, so just turned 20 years old. She is tweeting about him in
Yeah.
sexual ways.
Really
You
sexual,
can't
yeah.
you can't tell me that there was no interaction prior to September, that there was no flirtation prior to September, that he was the type of man that if there was, he would be like, "No, no, no, I'm married to Tammy, so don't worry about it." I don't believe that at all.
He looks a lot older than her as well. When you look at a picture of him and next to
Mm.
Heather, he looks a lot older than her.
Yes, a lot older.
Yeah.
He's not even like a young looking 38. He's
No.
38 going on 45 maybe,
He looks quite a lot
right?
like a friend of mine. Which is really freaky. When he's got no facial hair, he looks a lot like a friend of mine.
Doesn't he look so different between when he has facial hair and when he doesn't?
Yeah, yeah.
But regardless, he's still definitely significantly older.
Yeah, in the at the workplace, if he's in there, the difference between
Mhm.
sort of her and him, he looks a lot older. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that a 20-year-old would generally go. He's not like, I don't know, he's not, maybe he's got a really great personality. He's not like somebody who's like really buff or who is
No.
you would sort of double look at. It just looks like a normal guy. So I was just quite surprised when I
Yeah.
saw pictures of her and then pictures of him. I was quite surprised that she would be interested in a guy like that. I mean, she's a stunning, really, she's very young looking, I think. She's a lot
Mhm.
younger looking. I would have said she was about 17, 18 from her pictures. So I think she looks a
Yeah.
lot younger and he looks a lot older than he looks. So
Mhm.
I was quite surprised with the two when you said about them. I was quite surprised that they would be a thing.
Yeah, so that kinda goes to my point. I think he
Yeah.
seems like he's the type of person that as soon as there was some sort of interest that
Yeah.
from her, he probably would have acted on that, I think.
Definitely. It's flattering, isn't it? A young, pretty girl like that. He's an older guy. He's kind of thinking, yes, hello, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and then compared to Tammy,
Mm.
it's like
They're very
night and
different,
day.
aren't they? Yeah, they're very, very
Ext
different
Oof.
people. Yeah.
Tammy, I mean, maybe Tammy looked different in her younger days,
Yeah.
but time has not gone well for Tammy.
No. And I think he looks old enough so that he could pass for Heather's dad. When you look at the
Oh,
two of
yes.
them, I think
Easily.
they look like father and daughter more than like a love interest. I think they look a bit more,
Easily.
yeah, I think they look a bit more, they're very different. It's not the kind of, you can see why he went for her. I mean, Tammy wasn't doing, there are pictures of her when she was done up a little bit and she does look really nice. I think obviously the pictures later on of her aren't very kind of her, but the younger
Yeah.
ones of her when she's actually got some makeup on, her hair's done nicely, she looks quite nice, but they look old enough to be Heather's parents. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a strange one, that one.
Now, I don't want to say anything bad about Heather, but goes out to people. If you're 18, 19, 20 years old, there's no reason for you to be going after someone that is double your age, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Someone that's 38, 40. There's no need for it.
Well, if he's single, then that's fine
Okay, that's
too.
fine.
But
Yeah.
he's married, he's got kids. It's like
Mhm.
straight away that should be like massive red flags to you to be like, oh, come on. There's plenty of men out there that aren't married, that haven't got kids, that it's never going to end well, is it? It's never. But then
It
love is
never does.
blind, isn't it? Love is blind. And at 18, 19, you think you know everything. So
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
Or if you are gonna go after someone that's 38, don't go after the maintenance man. How
No.
about that?
Yeah, stay away from the maintenance man.
Stay away from the maintenance man. Come on.
That never works either. You usually end up in
No.
a bag somewhere, a dumpster somewhere, or, you know, in the loft of someone's house.
That he probably let's be honest, he probably has a work van, right? He has a work van. He has a
Y-
white work van.
Hey, don't start with the white work vans. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah, that's right. You have one.
You know I have a white work van. Mine's white and
Uh,
pink though, so come on, mine's all
oh,
right.
there you go. All right, yours is fun. Okay, so back to September. Okay, September, October, we'll find out. Okay, they're having an affair.
She
At
knows
some
now.
point, at some point, Tammy finds out about the affair, which of course infuriates Tammy.
The shit
Okay.
is gonna hit the fan. She's gonna get so mad.
Oh, Tammy goes crazy, right?
Yeah.
So when Tammy finds out, one of the first things she makes Sydney do is she makes Sydney call Heather
Mm.
and end the affair while she was listening. Okay.
Oh, clever.
Yeah. And so she also had Sydney tell her at this point that Heather was nothing to him and that
Oh.
she was just someone who would spread her legs.
Ouch.
So Sydney during this call basically ripped Heather apart,
Yeah, yeah,
and attacked her as a human being
yeah.
and basically was trying to make her feel bad about herself.
Mm,
When let's be clear, okay?
mm.
Let's be clear. Sydney is the one who was the horrible person in this situation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He has the wife. He has the wife and
He
kids.
has the wife. He is the one that is responsible for Sydney is responsible for Sydney. Sydney is responsible for his family. Sydney is
Yeah,
responsible for his wife, right?
yeah.
So Sydney is the one that went after this and decided to get into the affair, right?
Mm,
Now I can't tell you. Maybe Heather knew about Tammy. Maybe she didn't. I don't
mm,
know, right?
mm,
But Sydney is the adult. Sydney is the one that should be mature enough to say, "Hey, this is not right. If
mm.
in doing this, I'm taking on I'm taking on the responsibility of being a piece of shit."
Yeah,
So Sydney's a piece of shit. So I understand why they did it. It happened. So be it.
yeah.
Okay. Things get a little more crazy for in the Moorer house, right? So Tammy, to make sure that Sydney remained faithful to her, began handcuffing him to their bed every night.
What? So he can't leave?
So he
You're
cannot leave in the
oh
middle of the night.
no. There's a lot of trust in that relationship then.
Oh
He
yeah,
said, I
definitely.
can't believe she handcuffs him to the bed.
She would
Oh,
handcuff him to the bed so he couldn't leave. She would also
oh
also
no.
change his phone password to one that only she knew. So only she had access to his phone, and she was the only one that can unlock it.
Oh dear.
She would also accompany him whenever he went out of the house.
Oh dear.
So this is not a good situation at all.
Oh, didn't she also make him have a tattoo? Did she? She
Yes,
she did, didn't she?
she
She made
did.
him tattoo her
Her
name above
name,
his crotch.
yes, like lower, like I don't know, like pelvis region, like
'Cause that's
right
gonna
above his
stop
crotch. It
anyone
says
that's gonna
Tammy.
yeah, that's gonna stop anyone from, like, being with him if they supposedly have fallen in love with him. They're gonna care that he's
Yeah.
got his wife's name tattooed on him. They didn't care he
Oh,
had a wife in the first place
you
and
know
kids.
what? At this point, it probably would have been better off for you to just go. You know what? This is not working out for me. I gotta
Definitely.
go.
This guy's life is now hell because this woman is just she's never gonna trust him again, is she? You might as well
No,
just
and
end it right there.
she's never gonna trust you. Things are not gonna get better.
No.
Your life is hell from now on
And
out.
now
So
you've got her name tattooed above
now
his
you have your.
penis.
Oh my
That's
god,
crazy.
it's there. It's there now. Well, I guess he could change it from Tammy to something else down the road. Change that T to I don't know,
I
an
don't
H or
know.
something. Hammy.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you do?
Oh no, that's
What do you
hilarious. I just think
do?
that's really funny. But I feel a bit sorry for Tammy though in this situation because your
Yeah.
husband's gone off. It's gone off with a lot younger woman, which is going to make you as a woman feel really insecure anyway. So I do feel for her, but then all those things is totally that's not going to stop things. I mean,
Yeah.
I get the getting him to ring her so you can actually hear that he's done it. And yeah, it's
Mhm.
cruel what he said to her, but she's going to be angry with Heather, so she's not going to care how Heather feels about it. Heather's been cheating on it, cheating with her husband. So I can understand why she's so mad. But I mean,
Well,
imagine if it
yeah.
was a burglar and you're like, "There's someone downstairs. I can't move because I'm chained to the bed." Oh,
What are
or
you
there
gonna
was a
do?
fire or something. Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, I can feel okay. I understand Tammy being upset.
yeah, I do. Yeah,
I understand Tammy basically be making Sydney her prisoner or basically her bitch. Let's be quite honest.
yeah, he deserves it really.
Sydney at this point is Tammy's bitch. Now,
Yeah,
where I don't feel bad for her is where the story continues because Tammy, instead of leaving it be like, okay, the relationship's off. You got to
yeah, I see
remember
what you
once
mean.
again. So She still has access to his phone. She's the only one that can
Yeah.
use it. Tammy begins texting Heather, okay,
Oh,
from Sydney's
no.
phone,
Yeah.
like almost constantly. And so she would text her things threatening her. Like she would text her, like one text was like, "Hey, sweetie, you ready to meet the missus?"
Oh, God.
So she would do that. She would threaten her
Oh,
physically, and then she would like imply that she's gonna kill Sydney. Okay. So Tammy has lost it. Now on November
okay.
1st, Heather texted back to Sydney's phone, but it was to Tammy at this point. I'm pretty sure she knew it was Tammy. She wrote something along the lines of, "No one needs to worry about me anymore."
Yeah.
Right. And then
Okay.
so basically saying, it's done, it's over with, forget about me. I'm not worried about it. Don't worry about it me anymore. I'm
Yeah, you
I'm
don't have to
over it,
worry about
right?
it. Yeah, that's the end. Yeah.
And so Tammy would continue to write back. But this is what's weird too. So Tammy would write to Heather both as Sydney and as Tammy.
If you were Heather, I mean, if I was Heather, I'd just change my number. I would have just got rid of my phone, changed my number, and got the hell away from them. Because as soon as she starts texting you stuff like that, I mean, that's a bit crazy. I think if I was in Tammy's position, as soon as I found out, I would have gone to meet her to find out whether or not she knew that he had a wife. That would be my first. That would be my. He knows he's got a wife, so she would knows the answer to that one. So I would have gone to see the girlfriend and said, like, what the hell are you doing? What's going on? Are you in love with him? Is this just a sex thing? What's going on? I'd want to know everything that happened.
Yeah.
Then I'd go home and beat the shit out of my husband. But I'd make him pay like that. I wouldn't bother with all this like handcuffing. I mean, I'd just get rid of him and just say, right, do you know
Mhm.
what? You're just not even worth my time. Go be with a girlfriend. I wouldn't want to text her. I mean, she's obviously not got, all her bolts in the right place, has she?
Yes,
Because that's not
exactly.
normal the way she's reacted.
Now, Tammy continues this harassment of Heather by calling her job at the Tilted Kilt
Mm.
and constantly, right?
Oh
And trying to
no.
get her fired. So she would call and say stuff like, "Hey, if you don't fire Heather Elvis, then my husband will stop repairing your equipment."
Oh, so get another maintenance man then.
Yeah, exactly.
No one cares. That's
Yeah,
right.
as long as she's there, my husband isn't going to stop repairing your equipment. Now, at one point, Sydney started messaging Heather back.
Mm.
And then he was telling her things like that it wasn't that his wife had objected to the affair since they quote unquote had an open relationship and she had her own boyfriend, but that
What?
he lied about it. Yeah. So at this
Oh,
point,
okay.
the narrative
Yeah.
kind of changes, right? Where it's like, oh,
That she knew all along. Oh, okay.
yeah. So we have an open relationship. She has a boyfriend. So she didn't care if I have a girlfriend, but I lied to her about having a girlfriend. So that's what she's mad about.
Okay, right.
No,
That's not true, is it? You can tell that's not true.
no. With how Tammy responded, it's
Exactly. Yeah.
not true,
No,
right?
no way.
Because if they have an open relationship, and if he doesn't tell her about a girlfriend, all her rage is directed at Sydney, right?
Exactly, not the girl. Exactly. So he's obviously lying about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the point of lying at this point is.
No.
Was he trying to continue something with her? Maybe. I don't know. It's very, very strange, right?
Yeah.
Apparently on November 5th, Heather saw Sydney. So the last time she actually saw Sydney, she retweeted a joke by Daniel Tosh, who's a comedian, which seemed to be referencing the affair, in which he wrote, "Hey, married fellas, you can either cheat on your wife or murder her. Never both. That's when you get caught." So
Oh, okay.
And so that seemed to be it. After that, there appeared to be no additional communications between Heather and either Sydney or Tammy. Because at that point, in November, actually middle of November, Sydney, Tammy, and their two children left South Carolina to drive to Disneyland, and for vacation, and they were gone until December 11th, which is strange. From South, that's a long drive. So Disneyland is the one in California. So they
Yeah.
drove all across the country to go to Disneyland. Why didn't they just go to Disney World? Whatever.
Exactly. That's a bit weird. Okay. Is it? It's the same thing though, isn't it? Disneyland, Disney World. Aren't they roughly the same, or is there something?
No, Disney World's bigger. So
Oh,
Disneyland
right.
is just
Okay.
Disneyland, right?
Right.
So, but Disney World has like the Magic Kingdom, has Epcot
So
Center.
everyone wants to go there
Yeah,
then. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So it's like, yeah. So Disneyland is a lot smaller compared to
Yeah.
Disney World.
Okay. And they got the two kids, haven't they? So they've gone with both the kids.
Both the kids
Yeah.
going on a
This is a
good
make
family
or break
vacation.
holiday. Yeah, make or break holiday. This is, isn't it? Basically.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah,
But, probably them, it's like, okay, they probably had this already in the works, and by this point, it's too late to cancel, so it's like, "Let's go."
exactly.
Now,
Let's go.
if I was Tammy and I was pissed at Sydney, I'd be like, "Okay, well, do you wanna drive across the country with 2 kids by yourself? I don't know." So
That's right. Yeah.
maybe you do bring Sydney along. I was gonna say you leave him at home and you take the kids with you, but then now I'm thinking about it, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. It is a lot of work, but like 2 kids, I don't know what age their kids are, but, yeah, I think it's much easier with somebody else, isn't there?
Yep,
Weird. Okay.
absolutely. Now we are in December.
Mhm.
Okay. So mid-December, while Sydney and Tammy are enjoying their Disneyland vacation, Heather's still back in South Carolina and she gets a job at a beauty parlor in downtown Myrtle Beach. And she was
Okay.
planning on starting just before Christmas.
Right.
So
Okay.
super excited. This is something that she's been working towards. She had her 2 jobs. She was studying cosmetology. So now she's finally,
Yeah, doing
getting
something in
getting
that
it doing
line.
what she wants. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. She also began attending church regularly. So it seems
Right.
like maybe this whole affair kind of shook who she was as a person. So now she's kind of, um,
Trying to
you
make up
know,
for it. Yeah.
trying to make up for it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's going to church and seems to be kind of getting herself in line.
Mm.
Now, according to friends, however, they also know that she started to put on some weight,
Mm.
and they noted that her uniform had gone up 3 bra sizes
Oh, okay.
in a short period of time.
Okay.
Once again, you gotta remember their uniforms are
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just actually gonna have a look at the tilted kilt uniform. I'm just gonna see what it looks
yeah,
like. So I'm
because
guessing.
shirt I've never worn a lady shirt, but
Oh,
I
okay.
don't I don't think they're really sized in bra sizes, but you'll see when you look up tilted kilt uniform,
They
you'll see
definitely
why
are
it's
in
in bra.
they are definitely in bra sizes, yeah. But then if you're pregnant, if that I mean, they said that they thought she might be pregnant because her bra sizes have gone up. If she was pregnant, I don't think she would get away with wearing that uniform. It's literally like the smallest, tiniest little red kilt,
Mhm.
with
Yeah,
like a red tartan bra and then an open like bolero top tied up in front of it. So it doesn't
yeah,
leave a lot to the imagination, to be honest. I mean, it's quite a lot of flesh on show. So if she was thinking she was pregnant, it's not the most
yeah.
flattering of outfits to be wearing.
Here's the thing too, like your bra size or your size of the breast wouldn't go it really doesn't go up until later in the pregnancy, I believe, right? I mean,
No.
it's not like you get pregnant and then all of a sudden they shoot up 3 sizes.
Yeah, it does sometimes. It does they do go
Oh,
up
okay.
sometimes they do go up pretty quick.
So
Sometimes that can be like the first indicator. Sometimes you can sort of know from that different, yeah. So
mm,
I would say, yeah, that would probably be one of the things that you'd think, oh, hang on, this is a bit strange.
something,
Especially if
yeah.
you're not massive. I mean, it depends whether she already had massive boobs or not. And I'm not sure what she looked like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how she looked before.
Heather herself became so concerned that she might be pregnant, and it might be with Sydney's child that she had taken at least one pregnancy test, which came back as error.
Oh, so it didn't come back as no, it came back error.
Back at the air. Now, when at that point, I mean, maybe she did take another one, but no one taught, and she didn't tell anyone about. But I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm concerned about being, well, if I'm, if I was concerned I was pregnant, that's a serious issue. Of like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Very, very big issue.
But if I knew someone was like, oh, I think I might be pregnant, I took one, it said air. I'm like, take another
Take
one.
another one. That's right. Take 10 if
Yeah,
you need to until you get the answer you need.
keep taking it. Yeah.
That's
So
right.
it's like,
Yeah.
so Heather was in the situation. She thinks she might be pregnant, worried about it. Now, on the night of December 17th, she ends up going on a first date with another man by the name of Stephen Schiraldi.
Mm.
Their date started around 10 p.m. That was my assumption. Well, when you're that young, anyways, you're a night out. I remember when I was 20, 21,
Yeah.
and it was like a time to go out. We look at the clock and be like 9 o'clock. Like, oh nope, too early.
Too
Can't go out
early.
yet.
Definitely. Yeah.
But to me now, like, it's crazy. Like, okay, date starts at 10 o'clock. Like, that's way too late for me. I should be in bed.
You've aged
Got to be
so
in bed.
much. Yeah. You would have been outdated, home and done by 10 o'clock.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. So they start their date at 10 p.m., where he drove her around the area in his car, looking at the residential Christmas lights,
Oh,
which is a
that's
fun thing. I love
romantic.
doing that.
That
I
is
love
really
doing it. We
romantic.
still do that.
Yeah. That's a cool date night. I like that.
It is a good date night.
Yeah.
So after that, they drove to a parking lot area in the Inlet Square Mall where he taught her how to drive his manual transmission car.
Yeah, because over there you don't have manual
We
transmission very
don't.
often, do you? Which is
No,
weird.
not at all.
Yeah, that's weird.
Heather had ended up sending photos of her using the manual transmission to both her father and to her roommate, Bree,
Aw.
saying, "Hey, look at me," because it's once again it's abnormal to be driving a manual stick transmission
My
in
friends
the
would
United
think I was
States.
mad if I did that. They'd be like, "What?"
Why?
Okay,
Okay, great,
well
thanks.
done. Yeah.
So at this time, Heather was living in her own apartment, well, like with a roommate, Bree, in Carolina Forest. She was the oldest of her parents' two daughters, and she had actually moved out of the house shortly after she graduated high school. So she has been living out on her own for a while now. So he drops her off at her apartment around 1:15 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And Stephen is the last known person to have seen Heather alive.
Oh no. Do we know much about him? Or do we know much about him at all or not really?
Not a whole lot. No,
Right, okay.
not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me make it clear. Stephen in this story is not a suspect at all.
Right,
So
okay. So it definitely wasn't him.
it definitely was not him. So he was cleared very, very quickly.
Yeah. He dropped her off and that's it.
Yeah. So 20 minutes later, so this would have been around 1:30, 1:35,
Yeah.
a call was placed from a payphone to Elvis's cell phone, and it lasted 5 minutes. Shortly after, Heather called her roommate, who was at the time out of state visiting her family for holidays, and she stated that Sydney had called her, telling her that he was planning on leaving his wife and asking to meet with him. Okay.
Oh.
Her roommate Bree at this time described Heather as being completely hysterical during the conversation
Yeah.
and begged her not to go see Sydney.
Yeah.
So then after 2 minutes, that call ended with Bree, and the whereabouts of Heather after 1:45 a.m. on December 18th have never been conclusively established.
Oh no. See, now why would she, if that wasn't true, it must have been him that phoned. 5 minutes is actually quite a long time to have a conversation. It's quite a,
Mhm.
that's quite a, a lengthy, not really lengthy phone call, but it's not a quick phone call.
Yes,
And why else would she ring her best friend and say, "Oh my God, he's just rang me," if he didn't? So you wouldn't do it, would you? She's not
exactly.
going to make it up, is she? So he obviously phoned her, and now she's
Mhm.
missing. Oh
She is
dear.
missing.
Yeah.
Okay. So people right away, her family knew something was wrong when she goes missing, right? So they end up finding her car on the evening of December 19th. So she was driving a green 2001 Dodge Intrepid. And it was found parked perpendicular to the parking spaces at a place called Peachtree Landing,
Mm-hmm.
which is a boat launch along the Waccamaw River, and that's in Stokasty, South Carolina, which is about 8 miles from her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
The door was locked, and when they got the door open, her phone, her keys, and purse were not inside.
So she's picked up her stuff and gone, locked the door
Yes,
and
yeah,
gone. Right. Okay.
exactly. So all her calls to her phone went completely unanswered, and she was not at her apartment, or did she go to either one of her jobs that day.
Right. Okay. So her car. Yeah. So they found her car.
Yeah, so they found her
They found the
car.
car, but no purse, no keys, no her.
Exactly.
Okay.
The Horry County Police began a missing persons investigation.
Mm.
Like I said, Stephen Schiraldi, the last person known to have seen her, was quickly cleared.
Mm.
The day after the car was found, they began searching the area around the boat landing and found no signs of Heather.
Okay.
They also did searches along the riverbed down to the Wainia Bay, and
Right.
also they used divers from Coastal Carolina University to see if they could find her in the water. And once again, they could not locate any body. Now, there was a set of bones that were discovered in the area around New Year's Day, but those ended up belonging to a male victim. So,
Right. Okay.
unrelated case.
Right. Okay.
Investigators then were able to gain access to Heather's phone records,
Mm.
which showed a lot of activity that morning. So after she was dropped off by Stephen, there was a lot of activity going on with her cell phone,
Mm.
and it went on for about 2 hours. So after she had talked to Bree and told her that Sydney had called her.
Right.
Now, they can't say for certain if it was Heather using it, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. She obviously got her phone, her keys, and her purse with her, hadn't she? So
Yes.
she parked her car up and then she's got out. So, interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So phone pings showed that at 2:30, a call had been made from Heather's cell phone to the payphone that had made the call to Heather earlier in the evening.
Ah, okay.
But of course, no one answered. Then shortly after, the phone was pinged at around a place called Longbeard's Bar and Grill, which is also located in Carolina Forest.
Right.
And it stayed in that area for about 15 minutes. Now, let's see. So this would have been still before 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why would it go over to this bar and grill? Because I'm pretty sure in South Carolina, things probably close up by 1, 2 o'clock. So by 3 o'clock, everything should be closed.
But maybe he said on the phone to her, like, I'll meet you outside Longbeard's Bar and Grill. I'll meet you there. Because
Very true.
like a landmark, isn't it? To be able to say, I'll meet you outside a bar. There's a bar there. Even when it's all shut up, you can still find it.
Yeah, it's true. So then after that call, the phone appeared to be in motion, heading back towards where Heather lived. During that time, that phone called Sydney's phone again, which at that point pinged from his home. So it seemed like Sydney was home and Heather had it in his car.
Yeah.
Driving back to her apartment, she calls. And so then this call was answered and there was a 4-minute conversation that was recorded.
Right.
At 3:37 a.m., about 8 minutes after that call to Sydney was made, the phone was taken to Peachtree Landing.
Oh, okay.
So sometime between 3:30, let's say 3:37 and 3:40, the phone arrives at Peachtree Landing.
Right.
A minute later, there were 3 attempted calls were made to Sydney's phone. Within a span of 2 minutes, all were unanswered. At 3:41, another attempt was made, and then a minute and a half after that call at 3:41 a.m., data records for Heather's phone completely end. So there's nothing from her phone after 3:41 a.m.
So something's happened to her, Peachtree Landing. Something's happened there. She's tried to phone Sydney's phone at Peachtree Landing with her mobile. So she's tried to phone him and he hasn't answered the phone the whole time. And then at 3:41 she tries again. And then that's it. There's nothing left.
Yes. So
right,
Heather's at Peachtree Landing trying to get a hold of him. Okay. So we'll go back. So she talked to him at approximately 3:29 a.m.
Yeah, for like 4 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
That's the 4-minute call.
Yeah.
Or so that would have been 3:25, 4-minute call ended at 3:29.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 minutes after that call, the phone is at Peachtree Landing.
Right. So yeah, she speaks to him or whoever for 4 minutes and then she's at Peachtree Landing.
Yes. So then between 3:38 and 3:41 a.m., she attempts to call his phone 3 times.
But he doesn't answer.
But does not answer.
Okay.
Last call being at 3:41 a.m. And that's the last.
Then there's nothing.
Last record. Nothing after that.
Right. Okay.
So then let's go to Tammy and Sydney's phone records, right? So then because they quickly become suspects in this whole ordeal because of Sydney's affair with Heather, and then also because of the threatening nature of the calls and texts that Tammy had been sending to Heather.
Yeah.
So this was reported to police by her roommates as well as other friends and coworkers. So when they examined Tammy and Sydney's phone records, they found that there was no communication between the two of them. So between Sammy and Sydney from approximately November 2nd. That's the day that Sydney said that he surrendered her phone to Tammy.
Okay. Oh, yes. They wouldn't be talking to each other, would they? That's right. Yeah, because she's got both the phones. Okay.
Correct. Until 4:37 a.m. on December 18th, when she sent him a text asking for the pot stickers and orange juice. And he responded, "Yes, ma'am." Okay.
Right.
So they're not messaging, they're not calling, they're not texting. There's no communication between Sydney's phone and Tammy's phone from November 2nd until December 18th, right? What else is happening on December 18th? That's the day, once again, that Heather is at Peachtree Landing and goes missing, right? So this is an hour after Heather's last known phone record at approximately 3:41 a.m. on the 18th. An hour later, at 4:37 a.m., Tammy messages Sydney asking for pot stickers and orange juice.
Which is obviously a code for something else.
Strange, right?
Yeah. What's pot stickers?
I don't know.
I didn't know if that was like I don't know if that was orange juice, obviously, but I didn't know if like pot stickers was something people collect or if
Let's
it
see.
was.
Pot stickers.
I didn't know if that was something that like was just like a
Oh,
normal.
they're like dumplings?
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was like stickers. So she's asking for
So
dumplings
she
and
wants
orange juice.
dumplings and orange juice at 4:37 a.m.
That's weird.
Strange.
Yeah, they're like little wonton things, aren't they? Like little dumplings, the little things that you get
Yeah.
with Chinese.
Exactly. So weird.
Ground pork, soy sauce, shiitake mushrooms, and wonton wrappers. So she's texted him and just says, "Can I want pot stickers and orange juice?" And he's like, "Yes, ma'am." What does that mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is a bit weird, isn't it?
It is. Who asked for pot stickers and orange juice at
3, yeah,
3:10 a.m.?
exactly. 4:00 in the morning.
So police investigation continues, and hey, guess what they find? They find security camera footage. Dun dun dun.
Does it work or has it got the right time?
It actually works this time.
Wow, that never happens.
It never happened.
Never ever happens. It's usually not working that night.
It's not. So security cameras at the Myrtle Beach Walmart showed at 1:12 a.m. that night that Sydney entered the store. 7 minutes later, he was seen buying cigars and a pregnancy test and left.
That might be why I was thinking that might be a pregnancy craving. Dumplings
Oh,
and orange juice.
no. The dumplings and orange juice was Tammy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That might be
You
Tammy.
think
Might be
Tammy's pregnant?
Yeah. He's had a lot of making up to do, hasn't he? So I would imagine
He does.
he's doing everything she wants. And then how do you try and trap someone and keep them? Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, okay. We've got a baby
true.
on the way. We've already got 2 kids. We've got another baby on the way. Let's have this baby and make this work. So she's then
Possibly.
asking, can you get me some dumplings and some orange juice?
But who else is also possibly pregnant this time?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Heather. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's too early for pregnancy cravings. If say, hey, can you give me a pregnancy test? By the way, I want some dumplings and orange juice.
Yeah, but he's not exactly the cleverest man in the block, is
true.
he? So she could be like, I think I'm pregnant. She could have told him before she thought she was pregnant, and then she could be like, oh, I really, really want these. Can you get these? Oh, let's do a pregnancy test. Let's see if I am pregnant. I could be pregnant. We could start again. Forget about
Yeah,
her.
maybe.
Start a new life. Maybe.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
So after Sydney leaves the Walmart, there is additional security video from the Kangaroo gas station on Joe White Avenue, which showed Sydney making a call from a payphone
So he's
across the street
him doing
to
it.
Heather's cell phone at 1:35 a.m.
He is so sneaky. So his wife's not going to know because he's made it from a payphone. Sneaky. She's obviously given him his phone back because he's going out to get stuff.
Yeah.
And then he's got the number from his phone and called on the payphone.
He's calling from the payphone. Yes.
Sneaky man.
Okay, so the investigators then find some additional footage from private security cameras along a 3-mile stretch between the Moore's house and Peachtree Landing.
So it's 5 kilometers between their house and Peachtree Landing, where Heather is reportedly supposed to have been going.
That's correct. 2 of them were approximately midway along the route, one being closer to the Peachtree Landing. They all show a dark Ford F-150 pickup truck passing, heading in the direction of the landing. Guess who drives a dark F-150 pickup truck? Sydney does.
I was going to say, it's got to be Sydney, isn't it?
Of course.
Oh.
They pick it up. So these are timed at approximately 3:36 a.m. and then 3:39 a.m.
Okay, just before her phone goes out of...
That's correct, right?
Okay, yeah.
Then at 3:45 a.m. and 3:46 a.m., the cameras once again pick up this truck heading in the opposite direction.
So he's gone and met her and now he's on his way back.
That's correct. So
it
was heading in the opposite direction. The license plate was not visible. However, an analysis and enhancement of the video by the South Carolina Highway Patrol and as well as the FBI determined that it was Sydney's truck.
Right.
Which ended up being searched.
Yeah. So he's left his wife at home. He's gone to the store. He's called her while he's out the way. He's gone and met her, and then obviously he's done something with her, and now her phone's off and not reachable, and she's missing. So there's got to be something to do with him.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Investigation continues on until February 21st, 2014.
Oh, God.
when a section of South Carolina Highway 814 next to the Moore house was closed off.
Yeah.
In order to execute a search warrant of the property, police end up searching their residence for 11 hours. So, of
Oh,
course, it was thoroughly searched.
yeah.
And at that time, Tammy and Sydney Moore were both arrested at home and charged with murder, kidnapping, obstruction of justice, and 2 counts each of indecent exposure.
What?
Yeah, so the indecent exposure charge came from a result of sexually explicit images that were found on their phones that were determined to have been taken in public places.
Oh, God. Oh, no. These people are crap, aren't they? They're horrible. What
They
weirdos.
are horrible. All right.
Yeah.
So the obstruction charges against Sydney were specified later as coming from his denial of using a payphone to call Heather.
When there's CCTV of it, idiot.
Yes. So he only retracted that
Oh, when they told him,
when they
yeah.
said, "Hey, by the way, who is this on the security camera?"
Oh, whoops.
So it's
Yeah.
like, "Oops, that's me."
Yeah. Oh, I did use the phone. Now I remember. Okay. Clever guy.
Yes.
Idiot.
Okay, so both Sydney and Tammy, they posted a $20,000 bond,
Yeah.
which was later waived on the kidnapping in favor of murder charges. To when they changed it to murder charges, that went out the window. So
Yes,
they
there's
were
no
being
bond
held
at all. Okay.
without bond, which is
Right.
smart. Great.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want people out and about. So what evidence have they got though? Because they're charging them with. They must have something. If they're charging them with murder and kidnapping,
Hmm.
surely there's got to be some sort of evidence to say that she's dead. Because at the moment they've just got the fact that she's missing. They've got nothing to say that she's actually come to any harm.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
So
they've got to have something to be able to charge that. Because otherwise the prosecution wouldn't be able to charge them with that if there wasn't decent amount of evidence that they actually did something to her.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
they were actually in jail to actually early 2015.
Hmm.
So they had been in jail for almost a year when they were finally released, and that they were released because the judge ended up accepting Tammy's mother house as collateral to
Right.
guarantee their $100,000 bond on the murder charges. So the bond was eventually reestablished at $100,000.
When somebody is actually released on bond over there, is there like conditions to that? Like, are you not allowed to leave the area, or are
Oh
you
yeah,
on house arrest? So there must be some sort of conditions. They're not just like free to go until this is sorted.
yeah. So they were both Sydney and Tammy agreed to GPS monitoring for their
Right.
whereabouts.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I know that they were ordered to stay at least 5 miles away from the Elvis family home,
Okay.
and they were ordered to avoid interacting with any of the Elvis family members on Facebook or any other social media.
Because I was thinking they could go and get rid of evidence, couldn't they?
Oh, they could, yeah.
Because I mean, if they've dumped stuff somewhere, now they're out on bond and there's no real tracking of them. If there wasn't, then they could go and get rid of loads of stuff. So I'm glad that they had the GPS on them because they are dodgy, these two.
Yeah. Oh, no, they definitely were. So
Yeah.
while they were actually in jail, they actually had some charges. They had some unrelated charges filed against them for financial discrepancies that had been filed with the state of South Carolina. So
Oh
basically,
dear.
they were charged with Medicare fraud.
Right.
So
Oh, okay.
So 2007, they had an application for benefits that exceeded the
Oh.
$10,000. So yeah,
Okay.
so they were getting money from the state.
They're real pieces of work, these two, aren't
Oh
they?
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Stay away from the maintenance man, girls. Stay away.
Once again, stay away from the meanest man. Okay, so in March 2016, prosecutors end up dropping murder charges against Sydney and Tammy without prejudice,
Ah.
which basically means that that this could be reinstated anytime later.
Yes, if they get any more evidence, they can do them again for it.
Yeah, which is very smart
Yeah,
because
yeah,
once again, you kind of pointed to this. You have to have the evidence to prove that there was a murder, that she was dead, and
yeah,
they did it.
yeah.
At this point, they did not have that. So,
No.
and then murder charges. There's no statute of limitations on murder charges, so they have indefinite amount of time to recharge them.
Yeah, that's good.
So they drop those charges. They end up dropping the indecent exposure charges,
Oh,
as well as obstruction of justice charges against
oh,
Tammy. So at this point, we still have kidnapping charges on the
yeah,
table.
yeah.
We have obstruction of justice charges against Sydney,
Sydney, yeah,
and then the unrelated Medicare fraud charges were
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Of course, the Elvis family were disappointed that the murder charges had been dropped, but of course they understood that the prosecutors had to make that decision.
yeah, because, yeah. If they did get not guilty, that's the end of it, and that's the end of that. There's no chance of doing them again for it. So they're smart to do
Hmm.
that so that they can come back anytime when they get more evidence. Because I think it's pretty obvious they've got
Exactly.
something to do with her disappearance.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So there have been 3 trials that have been held for these 2.
What a waste of
Okay.
court time.
Well, and I'll explain why. So the first trial began in June 2016, and this was to decide if Sydney had kidnapped her. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So this was the Sydney Moore kidnapping trial. The state presented its case over 4 days.
Mm.
That's where Heather's coworkers testified that she did have an affair with Sydney and that they believed that she had gotten pregnant as a result.
Right. Okay.
Then we had there were law enforcement specialists that documented all the phone records, and the prosecutors connected those phone records to Sydney contacting Heather the morning that she disappeared.
Okay.
Jurors were also taken out of the courtroom to see Peachtree Landing in the Moore's house.
Mm.
So during Sydney's trial, there was a bombshell video that came to surface.
Right.
There was a surveillance video from the Moore's house. So Tammy and Sydney actually had video cameras on their house
Right.
as a security measure.
Yeah.
And so when police got a hold of these, they found that the day after Heather went missing, that Tammy and Sydney were cleaning up their pickup truck.
No.
Like significantly, like heavy duty cleaning. So they're cleaning up the pickup truck in their driveway.
On their own security camera.
On their own security.
How
yes.
stupid.
Okay. So the video is like several hours long.
That's a deep.
And so they extensively cleaned the truck.
Yeah.
They threw the rags into a burn pile on their property.
Come on.
They also saw Tammy intensively cleaning the passenger side doors while Sydney was cleaning the driver's side of the vehicle.
Well, if that's not suspicious, I don't know what is. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
But again, thing is, they were just clean. It is suspicious, but there's nothing concrete to say that.
But
we just
we're just
love
cleaning
our car, and we just love cleaning the truck, and we just want it nice and clean. Oh, that is really hard. That's really hard.
So after both the state and the defense argued their case, the jury deliberated for a total of 7 hours, and they came back divided. There were 10 of them that wanted to convict, and 2 of them did not. Became a hung jury, and the judge declared a mistrial.
Okay. So another trial then?
I don't know why there are 2 people like, no,
the problem is you've got to do it beyond reasonable doubt, and if there's a slight bit of doubt in there, you've got to say, no, well, I don't know, I'm not completely convinced that he did, because this is someone's life. You're sort of discussing the outcome of someone's life. If there's something in the back of your mind that just isn't quite right, or you can't quite connect the dots. I mean, from what we know of the evidence that we know from this, he made the phone call to her phone, she was trying to phone him, she went to Peachtree Landing, he had called her on the payphone. So he obviously was in the same place as she was. So Tammy at the moment is nowhere to be seen that we know of. She doesn't, we don't know that she even knows that he's meeting her. Is it that he's met with Heather and decided to get rid of her because she might be pregnant? Does Tammy know that Heather might be pregnant? Is Tammy aware of that? Do we know? So it could be then that Heather thinks she's pregnant. He's panicked because she thinks she's pregnant and decided, like, I've got no choice, I'm going to have to get rid of her. So then he's gone and done something. But obviously all you've got is a CCTV of him on the phone, the CCTV of him going there and coming back. That's all they seem to have. So it's one of those things again, that there's no body, there's no evidence of a crime, just that this girl's gone missing. So there's nothing to say that A, she's dead, B, anything has actually happened to her, and C, he had anything to do with it, other than the fact that he was in the same place as her and was on the phone to her. It could have been that he went to meet her, they ended things amicably, she fell in the river and floated away. I don't think so, but it could be. Yeah. It's possible that she could have fallen, banged her head and floated off down the river, and he left there thinking she was fine. That's the problem. God.
Exactly. So trial number 2 is the obstruction of justice trial
Sydney,
against Sydney. So
2017 this one was, wasn't it? This is where, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Everything began in July 2017. So basically they're doing the same case they did with the previous kidnapping trial. So they're showing again the phone records, the surveillance video of Sydney, basically saying, okay, Sydney said he didn't use a payphone. Here's Sydney using a payphone. Did he do it? Of course, after a 3-day trial, Sydney was convicted of obstruction of justice. The judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison, which is the maximum for the offense, and he was credited for nearly a year.
You know what we've
of time
forgotten?
served.
On the first trial,
What?
he spoke to media. After the mistrial, Sydney spoke to the media about the case, and the judge found him in contempt of court for violating the gag order, and he was sentenced to 5 months in jail.
Yeah.
But he was let out after 2 months due to good behavior. And then as soon as he came out again, he spoke to the media again. So then when he did this second trial, this obstruction of justice trial, this is the one that he actually gets sentenced to 10 years. The guy doesn't learn, does he? He just doesn't learn.
No. So he gets sentenced for 10 years. He has almost a year credit for the time he had served earlier. So 9 years in jail. However, he'll probably be paroled before serving the full sentence.
Okay. Yeah.
Piece of shit. Now, he did apply for his first parole back in November 2018, which he was unanimously denied.
No.
Nah, not happening. So Sydney is still in jail for obstruction of justice. As of today, Sydney still has not been retried on kidnapping charges.
Right, okay. So it's still ongoing.
That's still ongoing. Now we still have one additional trial remaining.
I was going to say, where's Tammy? What's happened to her? So now it's Tammy's trial. The third one, this is a kidnapping and conspiracy one. This is her trial, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's in prison, and this is her trial.
Exactly. So now nearly 5 years. So we're talking 5 years after Heather goes missing. They finally goes on trial for kidnapping and conspiracy. Okay, so then October 2018, we get to Tammy's trial, her kidnapping and conspiracy trial. In addition to the evidence that had already been introduced at Sydney's trial, this is where the prosecution first introduced the threatening text that Tammy had sent to Heather. And this was to support their theory that Tammy had been driven into a jealous rage when she learned about the affair, and then learned that Heather might be pregnant. This gave her a motive to harm her.
Of course, yeah.
So shortly after her disappearance, Tammy apparently had called Heather a psycho whore in a Facebook post, and suggested that she had been stalking her and her children.
Right. Okay. So Heather's the bad one.
So Tammy had been suggesting that Heather was the bad one, right? So during this trial, Sydney's mother testified that a few days after learning about the affair, Tammy began beating Sydney severely. This is also we learned that Tammy, in fact, did have another lover, a younger lover.
Oh, in their open relationship,
and that she had sexually explicit texts were also revealed, which she had sent to her lover. And this prompted a defense to move for mistrial, since they believed it was prejudicial to Tammy's character, and that the jury might be moved to convict her to get a conviction because of that.
Oh no!
So Tammy also was sexting with an underage male at this time as well.
Oh,
underage.
Wow.
Under the age of 18. So Tammy is not the clean-cut mom we all expected her to be at this point.
Oh, these two, where do you find people like this? This is crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's insane, right?
This is like a film. This is ridiculous. And these people are parents. They've got children.
Mm-hmm. Tammy's lawyers tried to argue that the affair in itself did not bother Tammy, since she had her own lover, and that it was Heather who was stalking the family that upset her.
Oh, okay. Not the fact that he had lied to her then, so that's out the window.
That's correct. Now, Tammy, during a police interview, did claim that they did have an open marriage, so that ended up being on record. And she would say that during the trial, she would take the stand herself and said that she actually had a nice conversation with Heather the month before her disappearance, and that the two had resolved any issues that they may have had.
Of course they did. Bullshit.
Exactly. Now, detectives counter that by saying that Tammy had characterized Sydney's relationship with Elvis as inconsequential.
I just don't believe this. This is ridiculous.
It's insane.
It is. They're just trying to do everything they can, aren't they, just to cast a little bit of doubt.
So on October 13th, 2018, the case was sent to jury, and the jury came back with a guilty verdict.
Good.
For Tammy. So they found her guilty of kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping in connection to Heather's 2013 disappearance. Now, prior to sentencing, Tammy decided to take the opportunity to address the court.
Of course, yeah. What did she come up with this time?
And so she tells Judge Benjamin Culbertson that I am a mom to 4 kids because I have an extra one right now that I'm looking out for. They don't have anybody else. They don't live in this state. We have had to leave the state because of harassment. They don't have anyone else to care for them, and they need their mom, and I don't know what else to say to you." She then continued saying, "I am Heather's number one advocate. I want to know what happened to Heather probably just as much as her parents do. I want to know what happened to her. I have nothing to do with her disappearance. I have never met her. I have never seen her." With that, Judge Culberson sentenced Tammy Moore to 30 years in prison.
Good.
On each of the charges. Tammy is in jail. She's found guilty on 2 charges, 30 years each. So, okay, let's say maximum 30 years if they're concurrent, right? I'm pretty sure we can all say that Sydney was involved in the disappearance and murder of Heather Elvis. Now, was Tammy in the car? I don't know. But you have someone who is sitting in jail who in the next possibly 6 years is going to be released. But you have Tammy that's going to be in jail probably until she dies.
Yeah.
I think this is a case. While there is some sort of justice that has been found, I think we're far from complete justice, right? We need to find, first off, Heather needs to get back to her family like any of these cases. And I think we need to find her so that Sydney can remain in prison for the rest of his life.
It's not a long time though, is it? I mean, it's not a long time from when he meets her to then, we don't know. We can't say what happened when he pulled up from when he allegedly met her, and then you see him driving the other way.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing really after that, so there's not anything of him unloading anything at the thing. So I'm wondering whether he got rid of her where they were.
If we want to break down the timeline one more time, and this is just from her last known phone record, which was 3:41 a.m. So based off of the surveillance of the truck, he would have reached Peachtree Landing at approximately 3:41 a.m.
And that's just literally just before her phone stops working.
Exactly. So then there's approximately 5 minutes between the time that her last known call was made at 3:41 till the time that the truck was heading back. Very short window period of time. We can assume from the text from Tammy to get him to get her dumplings and orange juice that he was gone for at least another hour, right? Because that was at 4:37
So why would she text him?
Yeah. So sometime between 3:41 a.m. and at least 4:37 a.m. That's where he's getting rid of the body, right? Or they are. I don't know. Once again, I can't say if they're both together or if it was just Sydney.
There must be surveillance. If they've got surveillance of them cleaning the truck the next day, they've got surveillance of him pulling back onto his drive.
Exactly.
So they must know when he came home. So there must be a window in there of like about an hour before he comes back, roughly.
At least, yeah.
At least an hour. So he's got time. I mean, it's a long way. An hour is a long time, really, to get in, get something done, and get out again. Especially where they are. They're right by water. I don't know. I don't know the area well enough to say, what he could have done with her. But it's quite obvious he's got something to do. Yeah, he's got something to do with her.
Myrtle Beach is right there on the ocean, so I don't know if he has access to a boat, but to go out to the ocean, you can dump a body in the ocean. No one's ever going to find that.
No. And also, they both know. They both know what's happened. It's obvious. She wouldn't help him clean his truck out. What is she cleaning away? I wouldn't clean my husband's truck. He does it himself. I'm not going to go out there and scrub it unless something's wrong. So she knows a lot more than what she's saying. Both of them do. So, yeah, whether she actually did anything or she helped clean up after, so she knows what happened.
Here's the thing. So at this point, Tammy, minus any type of probation, or even if she tries to appeal her conviction, she's looking at 30 years, right?
Yeah.
Does Tammy go back and say, okay, I want to make a deal?
Yeah.
This is what I know, and get time off or not face additional charges? I don't know. So why doesn't Tammy at this point, she has nothing to lose?
Yeah.
Especially if she knows that Sydney, the guy who basically started this all, right? Sydney's the one that had the affair. Sydney's the one that made the choice to act on flirtation or whatever it might be, right? Why is she still protecting him at this point?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, how is she going to feel here in 6 years when he walks free?
Exactly. And then she's going to be stuck in jail and he's going to be out there free. Maybe she'll change her mind then.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, what's the worst Tammy could see? Like, if she, does she get another conspiracy to commit murder, another obstruction of justice?
Yeah, that's what she'll get in it. Obstruction of justice again.
Yeah, but you can't let Sydney walk out of prison here in 6 years or
No,
less, right?
that's
For
right.
this.
And that's right, exactly.
I don't think that Sydney would have done anything to Heather if it wasn't for Tammy, though, as well. You know what I mean?
Oh no, he'd still be relishing in that younger relationship, wouldn't he?
He
If he could
would.
get away with it.
And I think Tammy pushed Sydney to do something. So
Yeah.
he's at the point where he's basically doing anything that she wants him to do, right?
That's
So I
right.
do think Tammy is far from innocent in any of this. If it wasn't for Tammy, Heather would still be alive, right? If it wasn't for Sydney, Heather would still be alive. But I think combination of those two together, Tammy and Sydney, that's what led to Heather disappearing and being murdered.
Yeah. Poor Heather's parents, because it's quite obvious that they have got something to do with their daughter's disappearance, and all these things. You know exactly what you're thinking about what could have happened to their daughter, and these two are not saying a thing, and they're just trying to get away with it, aren't they? That's awful.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pieces of shit.
They really are. They really, really are. They know what happened to her, and they won't give it up. It's really wrong. Yeah,
It's so
really wrong.
frustrating, right?
It
I mean,
really
it's
is.
so
Yeah.
frustrating. It's just
Her poor
there's
family.
no need. And this whole thing with Tammy saying that she's Heather's number one advocate, bullshit. If you
Of
were her number
course,
one advocate, if you were her number one advocate and you want to know what happened to Heather, which we know what happened, you would fucking speak.
Exactly.
Don't give me that bullshit. You're her number one advocate.
No. And I think that's a cheek, the fact that she's actually even saying that. That's just sick. She's obviously not right in the head. She's obviously got serious issues.
Yeah.
Well, she's obviously, isn't she? Yeah, she's a control freak.
We know for a fact you knew your husband wasn't home at 4:37 a.m., didn't we, Tammy? When you wanted your fucking pierogies and orange juice. Pierogi. I'm going to throw pierogies now, whatever. You wanted ravioli.
Dumplings. Yeah.
Everything that's dumpling-like, that's what you wanted, in orange juice.
Yeah.
Give me some pot stickers in OJ. We
4 o'clock in the morning.
for a fact.
Yeah, you know.
And here's the thing, too. I mean, she had him by the balls, right? We said he was fucking handcuffed to the bed at night. She would be with him everywhere he went. And then all of a sudden, on the night that Heather goes missing,
yeah, she just lets him out free with his phone.
You let him go out for free at 4:30 in the morning, and you're not going, hey, where are you? Who are you with? Are you seeing someone else? No, you say, I want some wonton and some orange juice.
That's just weird, isn't it? That's weird. It just doesn't work. It doesn't go with everything. It's just very weird. And they expect us to believe that it's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. The prosecutors in this case must have been like banging their heads against a brick wall. These two people are so stupid. They honestly expect us to believe that they don't know what happened. They're idiots.
How does Sid not get convicted on kidnapping charges at least? How?
Well, because there's no trace of her, is there, at the moment? There's nothing to say that she was there.
Convicted with no problem.
Exactly. So how does that work? Tammy's been convicted with kidnap, but he hasn't. How the hell has he got off with that? And why has she let him get off with that? Why is she taking all the shit for it? And he's not. I don't understand that.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't. The whole thing makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Wow, this is a real head-scratching case because it just doesn't actually make any sense.
No, not at all.
On one hand, it does. You know that they had something to do with it, but in the other hand, the rest of it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Yeah, it's strange. Well done, you. What a good case to look into.
It's frustrating. All right, well, that is our case for this week.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Another frustrating one.
I hope that we do find some answers to these, be it now or be it in a few years' time. I really hope that these cases that we've covered, I hope we get an answer, because it would be really good for people's families to find out what happened. It must be awful not knowing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
What a sad story.
It is another sad story. So yeah, send us some messages on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, whichever social media you use. Let us know what you think. What do you think happened? What do you think? Is there something we haven't looked at that perhaps we should have thought about there? But I think, yeah, it's a bit mad.
All right, Cherry. Well, thank you, everyone, once again for listening to Crimepedia.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Cherry.
She's Cherry. As always,
be nice. You can say bye.
Bye.